jolly time, as you can hear. All of our wines are being provided this evening by Warren Winiarski of the Stag's Leap Wine Cellars in Napa Valley. And we have a marvelous visiting chef, Louis Evans Jr. from the Pontchartrain Hotel in New Orleans.
What's up to my fellow culinarians, and welcome to Think Food. I am Chef Danielle Caroline, and not only do we cook, but we also shine light on forgotten culinary trailblazers. Today, we celebrate the legacy of Chef Louis Evans. In the vast world of culinary arts, countless chefs have made remarkable contributions, yet many remain unsung heroes. One of these trailblazers is Chef Louis Evans, a figure whose influence has significantly helped shape the American culinary landscape, yet he often goes unrecognized. This exploration and tribute uncovers the biography, achievements, and lasting legacy of Chef Louis Evans, emphasizing an essential slice of culinary history that deserves recognition. I first saw Chef Louis Evans a few months ago on a PBS show, Dinner at Julia's. Dinner at Julia's aired for 13 weeks from October 1983 to January 1984, hosted by culinary icon Julia Child. This series featured elite chefs from across the nation that were handpicked by Julia. Chef Evans' presence as a black chef on such a prominent platform was groundbreaking, especially during a time when representation in the culinary world was severely limited. During his appearance, he prepared a beautiful crawfish bisque that showcased the essence of New Orleans. This dish, made with locally sourced crawfish from New Orleans, fresh herbs, and a rich stock, served not just as a recipe, but as a celebration of cultural and tradition. Despite his brilliant performance on the show, it's disheartening that detailed information about Evans is limited. It is astonishing to realize that someone as talented as him does not have a dedicated Wikipedia page. His legacy must be preserved and celebrated. After learning of Chef Evans, I sought to find more information about his life and contributions, and what I discovered was an article published by NOLA.com in 1990 and revised in 2019 that shed light on his accomplishments. Among his notable achievements is the publication of a cookbook filled with over 300 well-written and tested recipes. This book highlights his creativity and dedication to the craft. Chef Louis, born in Carlisle, Mississippi in 1940 or 1941 in a sharecropper's cabin, his childhood was deeply rooted in Southern cooking traditions. His family's kitchen was a space where fresh ingredients took center stage. Often he watched his mother grinding cornmeal, instilling in him an appreciation for fresh ingredients. These early experiences shaped his relationship with food long before he recognized it as his calling. Later, his family made the move from Mississippi to New Orleans, where Chef Louis graduated from Booker T. Washington High School. He later served in the armed forces as a mess hall cook. And then his destiny begins. While working for a tile company, Chef Louis accidentally discovered his first civilian cooking job at Scalfani's, a well-known Italian restaurant in New Orleans. On a bustling New Year's Eve, he was approached by owner Pete Scalfani, who asked him for help washing dishes. Chef Louis stated that he had never seen so many glasses. But despite the demanding dishwashing work, Chef Louis ended up staying until 2 a.m. And to his surprise, Pete offered him a position in the kitchen later that night. Chef Louis recognized this as a pivotal moment, firmly expressing his desire to cook rather than to wash dishes. His culinary journey officially began in 1958. Chef Louis's culinary education commenced under the guidance of Pete Scalfani. The first dish he learned to prepare was a caramel cup custard, which opened his eyes to the versatility of eggs. This experience sparked a deep passion for cooking in Chef Louis. Shortly after, he created another classic, bread pudding with vanilla sauce, both dishes taught by Pete Scalfani. At Scalfani's, every day began with prep. Chef Lewis took pride in keeping the dining room tidy and setting up the pantry. He admired Scalfani's commitment to fresh ingredients, from witnessing an old Italian woman make 12 gallons of tomato sauce with fresh garlic each morning, and to Chef Lewis learning to butcher meat and fish. The practices Chef Lewis embraced at Scalfani's reflected the principles instilled in him by his mother. Growing up in an environment that celebrated cooking from scratch made these concepts second nature. As Chef Lewis honed his craft, he developed a deep love for cooking. His dedication to learning was evident, as he always carried a pen and pad to take notes, and regardless of the hour, he woke each morning ready to cook, oftentimes without an alarm. His mentor, Pete Scalfani, recognized young Chef Lewis's potential and adopted him as his protege, affectionately calling him Sonny. This nurturing relationship provided Chef Lewis a safe space to learn and grow as a cook. Chef Lewis's first true home was Scalfani's restaurant, where he committed to his craft, working from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. 6 days a week. On some occasions, he worked a full 7 days. This level of dedication is not common. He quickly became known as the chief chef and the owner's right-hand man. Scalfani recognized Chef Lewis's determination and sent him to culinary school at Delgado College, where he attended classes during his off hours for 10 years. This dedication reflects an impressive work ethic. After 11 years under Scalfani's guidance, yearning for a broader culinary experience led Chef Lewis to apply to the prestigious Pontchartrain Hotel in 1969, marking a change in his culinary career. At the Pontchartrain Hotel, Chef Lewis found a familiar atmosphere, similar to Scalfani's. Pontchartrain Hotel, owned by father and son duo Leslie Ashenberg and Albert Ashenberg, the hotel was a luxurious dining spot, and Chef Lewis was excited initially. Starting as a relief chef, his undeniable hard work and dedication propelled him to the roles of sous chef, assistant chef, and eventually executive chef in less than 1 year. Recognizing Chef Lewis's skill, Leslie Ashenberg sent him to 2 prestigious schools. The first was the renowned Prince School in Toronto in 1972, followed by the Culinary Institute of America, CIA, in Hyde Park, New York, in 1974. The significant investment in his education from both employers attests to Chef Lewis's raw talent and fierce dedication. Throughout his career, Chef Lewis not only gained recognition for his culinary skills, but also for his ability to connect with others and his amazing temperament in the kitchen. And I quote Albert Ashenberg, "He was totally lacking in temperament, and I can't think of anyone who would have thrown Lewis for a loop. He charmed everybody, even people like food gurus Julia Child and Roy DeGroot." End quote. Chef Lewis was known for having a charming way with the staff and patrons, and I quote the Caribbean Room's maitre d'. In those days, Lehman said, the hotel's permanent residents had certain needs, and some of their requests were difficult to fill when the dining room was full, but at 8:30 on a very busy night, I could go back in the kitchen and say, so-and-so is here and needs something special. Lewis never raised his voice. Apart from being a great chef, he was also a great soldier. Lehman remembered, too, how Mr. Evans' energy inspired the Caribbean's room service staff. Sometimes he worked 6 or 7 days a week. The workload was tremendous, and he never complained. But about every 4 months, he'd go back to Mississippi and spend a few days with his grandmother. That was his tranquilizer, and that's how he preserved his sanity and his patience. End quote. Soon, the Pontchartrain became a hot spot for celebrities and elite guests, all eager to savor the exquisite dishes crafted by Chef Lewis and his team. Welcoming a host of celebrity patrons from the worlds of entertainment and politics, Chef Lewis served the likes of Richard Burton, Mary Martin, Gerald Ford, and Henry Kissinger. For 18 years, Chef Lewis ruled the Caribbean Room at the Pontchartrain Hotel, an elegant space where patrons savored his delicious seafood gumbo and signature dishes. Noteworthy creations included Mile High Pie, a dessert that stood proudly tall with layers of whipped cream drizzled with chocolate. And then there was the red snapper with crawfish sauce was another highlight, offering a perfect harmony of flavors. Chef Lewis's reputation surged after he was invited to cook on the Julia Child Show in 1984. This appearance served as a platform to showcase his famous crawfish bisque, featuring unique stuffed crawfish heads, a dish he spent over 2 decades perfecting. This moment was monumental, as it was the first time Julia Child encountered crawfish. He is credited with introducing Julia Child to the flavors of crawfish. This is not to be confused when Emerald introduced Julia Child to crawfish in a country boil setting years later. To ensure freshness, Chef Lewis arranged for the crawfish to be shipped ahead of time. During the cooking demonstration, he shared tips on handling and preparing the shellfish while celebrating the culinary traditions of Louisiana. As word of Chef Lewis's culinary talent spread, he became a prominent figure in the food industry. His appearance on the Mike Douglas Show, where he prepared traditional shrimp Creole, further expanded his fame. At a highly publicized cook-off at the Fairmont Hotel, Chef Lewis faced off against 14 of the best chefs in New Orleans, each vying to create the ultimate rendition of red beans, a beloved local dish. Chef Lewis emerged victoriously, earning the title of King of the Red Beans. His victory highlighted his ability to honor tradition while adding his unique twist. Yet often overshadowed by his accolades is the deep impact he had through his philanthropy work at St. Michael's Special School. In 1976, Chef Lewis received a call from Warren LaRuth, the first chef from Louisiana to join the prestigious Golden Toque, to be a part of a select group of 12 chefs for a special 2-day cooking demonstration that grew into an annual event. With love for cooking and dedication to helping others, Chef Lewis gladly accepted. The first dish he served at St. Michael's Special School was his shrimp 21, served in a delicate pastry shell. This dish was a new creation, designed just a year earlier for a luncheon. Chef Lewis plated and served over 900 of these exquisite shrimp pastries, marking the start of a partnership between him and the school. Chef Lewis's time volunteering at St. Michael's not only highlighted his culinary skills, but also revealed his passion for uplifting those in need. His charity work intertwined beautifully with his professional path. Despite numerous culinary accolades, it was his selfless acts that filled Chef Lewis's heart with true joy. At the 1986 St. Michael's event, he was honored as Chef of the Year in New Orleans, an impressive feat in a city renowned for its fierce culinary competition. This accolade affirmed his dedication and skill in a vibrant culinary scene. In a city where chefs push boundaries, being recognized speaks volumes about Chef Lewis's talent. In 1987, Chef Lewis's career took another turn when the Pontchartrain Hotel changed ownerships. He was quickly recruited at Cabby's restaurant, nestled within the luxurious New Orleans Hilton Riverside, famous for its breathtaking views of the Mississippi River. As he stepped into his new role at Cabby's, he blazed a new trail as the first well-known local chef hired by a major hotel chain. Before Cabby's, Chef Lewis had an exciting opportunity in London, where he was invited to cook Creole cuisine at the Meridian Hotel for 3 weeks. This experience became one of his fondest memories. Upon returning to New Orleans, he re-entered Cabby's with a fresh perspective and renowned enthusiasm. At Cabby's, Chef Lewis wowed guests with innovative Creole dishes. One highlight was the Trout Eugene, which featured a fillet of trout topped with sweet crab meat and sautéed shrimp. The Hilton's general manager, Paul D. Buckley, said, and I quote, "It was not unusual that Lewis came out into the restaurant to greet guests, sending them home with a touch of his warm Creole hospitality," end quote. He consistently received 4-star reviews from renowned food critics like Craig Claiborne and Clementine Paddleford. Even the legendary James Beard praised Chef Lewis's culinary artistry. The warmth that radiated from his kitchen and creativity reflected in his dishes, garnished him a reputation as a chef of international renown. Chef Lewis's recipes were featured in numerous publications where he generously revealed his culinary secret to aspiring cooks and food lovers. And with all of his hard work and dedication, in 1987, he was the first black chef to be admitted into the Golden Toque, which was named after the distinctive tall chef's cap worn by masters of the cuisine. This is an amazing honor because this is the highest acclaim recognition a chef can receive in America. The Golden Toque was originally founded in France and brought to this country by Chef Pierre Perraud. It is registered in the United States Patent Office as the Honorable Order of the Golden Toque, founded in 1961. The Honorable Order of the Golden Toque was established to give recognition to chefs of at least 20 years of service, who have achieved professional attainment of high estate, abiding interest in professional progress, and devoted and distinguished service in the culinary profession and arts. Membership is restricted to 100 lifetime members, and one may not apply for membership but must be nominated by 3 active members. After the nomination, a screening process is conducted through the acceptance committee composed of past grand commanders. The board of directors and final acceptance must be granted by the membership at the annual meeting. See, this is what I don't understand. Why does this great chef not have a Wikipedia or more recognition? This is an amazing accomplishment. Chef Lewis Evans was more than just a name. He was a catalyst in the culinary world, inspiring countless individuals through his delicious recipes and warm philosophy, embracing the idea that a secretive chef is a scared chef. He passionately shared his culinary journey with others. In an industry often shrouded in secrecy, Chef Lewis chose transparency. His cookbook, featuring over 300 tested recipes and over 33 years of culinary experience, stands as a testament to his skills and values. This tribute to Chef Lewis Evans is to highlight his profound contribution to cooking and lasting inspiration he provides to chefs and home cooks alike. I quote Chef Lewis, "Good tested recipes will work for you, and you don't have to be a master chef to pull them off." End quote. His cookbook, titled Lewis Evans Creole Cookbook, features simply yet delicious recipes like spicy lamb shanks and crawfish bisque, showing that anyone can create restaurant quality meals at home. Unfortunately, and with a heavy heart, Chef Lewis passed away in 1990 at the age of 49, just after completing his cookbook manuscript. His passing was a profound loss, not only to his family, but also to the culinary community and New Orleans that had embraced his passion and enthusiasm for cooking. Fond memories of Chef Lewis are cherished by many, including his devoted wife. She supported him through long working hours and countless late nights in the kitchen. He recognized and appreciated her unwavering patience and love as critical elements in his journey to success. In my own culinary journey, I have pledged to share the stories of inspiring chefs who have left an impact on our lives. Chef Lewis Evans exemplifies the importance of passion, community, and generosity within the culinary world. I hope as you embark on your culinary journey, you find inspiration in Chef Lewis's creations. And as they would say in New Orleans, may the next dish be the best dish you have ever cooked in your life, and the next, and the next. And don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell until the next episode. Wishing you peace and plentiful seasonings to all of my fellow culinarians.
But there's Chef Lewis Evans Jr. from the Pontchartrain. What you messing up my sink with there?
Sure, these some crawfish I brought from New Orleans. I'm trying to wash the dirt out of them.
Gosh, they're still alive. What are you going to make with them, Chef?
I'll show you in a minute. If you've never been to New Orleans before, let me tell you a little bit about crawfish. We're going to do a crawfish bisque. First, we're going to boil the crawfish in boiling water for about 5 minutes. And we're going to add about 3 lemons, bay leaf, salt, cayenne pepper. We'll cook this about 5 minutes. Now that the crawfish has turned pink, we're gonna stuff the head, save the meat from the tail, and the liquid for the soup. Now I'm ready for my stuffing. We have a little celery, onion, bell peppers, crawfish. Now we're gonna have the soaked bread. Bay leaf, a little salt, a little thyme, cayenne pepper, Worcester sauce. I'm gonna mix this all up together. Mix real well. Then we're gonna take 3 eggs and fold them in. We're gonna mix this in real well. We're gonna place this in a 350-degree oven for about 25 minutes. And now we're ready to make our soup. Now we have shortening, which we're gonna make a brown roux. We're just gonna make this dark brown. Once this thing is brown real well. Now I'm gonna add garlic, bell peppers, and onion to this. This should slow your roux down a little bit so that it doesn't burn. Then we're gonna add tomato puree. The remaining of your crawfish. A little salt. Bay leaf, about 3. Cayenne pepper. Green pepper sauce. Thyme, whole thyme I'm using. Sweet basil. Now we'll mix this up real well. Now this is cooked enough. Now we'll add the stock from the crawfish. A little at a time. Let it cook for about 30 minutes. You remember those heads we saved earlier? Now we're gonna stuff them, this dressing. Then we're gonna bake these off in the oven, a 350-degree oven, for about 15 minutes. Look at little crawfish heads, this stuff. There you are, Judy. A little bit something from New Orleans.